Welcome to the Spartanburg day of Speedweek. This is a USA Crits race, one of the days of the USA Crits races. And yeah, started off at the back yet again. Luckily, I'm in good company. Right on the right there in the green is Michael Garrison. He's been lighting up these races, and Chris Hildreth right there that I just came past on the inside. First corner here, like shooting the inside. There was usually plenty of space on the inside. There was a manhole cover there. People didn't like going over, so I took it. On this second corner, oftentimes the outside would reduce in its space, so you had to watch out for going on the outside. But generally, there was plenty of space on all the sides. The problem with this race for me was just the speed. You can see we're going 35 miles an hour right now. You would normally want to move up here into the third corner, but it was pretty fast, so you would often have to spend energy. Inside of the third corner was often pretty open too. Sometimes it would shut down, but this was a race. Robin Carpenter right here. I should have followed this wheel all the way up to the front, but he was going pretty hard, so I did not have that kind of juice, and Robin actually ended up making it into the break this first lap, like, really quick. I felt like I was doing like 500 watts right there. Plenty of power, and not really going anywhere, so jumping behind, I think it's Kyle Murphy here, into the first corner. Still got to make my way up, but that was lap one. Scooting forward a little bit, and there is an incident right here on the corner. I think that was when Corey Williams went down. Might have had a front flat is what it looked like, and then just lost the front in the middle of that corner, which sucked for him. Not a lot of fun for a few guys, I think, that went down in that little crash there. This guy looks like he might be turning his GoPro on a few minutes into the race. Already there are gaps starting to form, but up there is Ty Magner, so that was probably more of a strategy of just closing down in the middle of the corner so he didn't have to accelerate through stuff. 5-10 minutes later, still trying to work my way up, trying to find spots to do so outside of these first two corners. Oftentimes had plenty of space, so making my way up through that. But yeah, still doing plenty of power on the outside, and we're doing like 32 miles an hour, so hard race so far. And pretty sure the brake is already gone. So at 10-20 minutes into the race, and the brake went super early yet again. Didn't even get a chance to get to the front, but I've got to keep working my way up there and hope there's a good bridge move I can get into. I think this was Para on the outside, moving his way up. Might have been Jamie, but Jaime, but eventually settled onto the Blazers train. You're going to see a lot of those dudes, specifically Monk here, because I like Monk's wheel, and actually Danny Estevez pushed me to the outside there. Eventually the trains just started forming up. I tried to stick to the Blazers train the best I could. They were like usually second train, and it was pretty smooth being on their wheel. Legion tried to get a train together, but I think they had Tyler Williams up in the brake. They definitely had Robin Carpenter up in the brake, who Tyler Williams was on Blazers. He might have also been on the brake, but they had Robin Carpenter up in the brake, so they weren't interested in pulling anything back. It was interesting, however, Ribble Rebellion, I think they had two guys in the brake, and their strategy seemed to be keeping the brake like at arm's distance. They didn't want it to lap up. I think they were less confident in their like field sprint strategy than any of the other teams. Right there was a kid, you'll see it yet again in slow-mo, putting a glow stick out into the course, which was ridiculous. Monk gave him a little pop, and I gave him a little yell to maybe control your children. That could have gotten pretty bad for that kid and anybody who hit him. Nico here moving up into the front of the field. I'm still on the Blazers train, just hanging out with them. Cesar Marte also hanging with his crew there. It was weird being up at the front. There were a few teams that were assembled, like Work Hard, Be Humble here. Had a pretty good presence. And then Legion had their guys, Blazers had their guys, and then Ribble Rebellion was on the front. keeping it pretty fast for a lot of it. Yeah, doing 32 on this backstretch, which is pretty flat. We were just trying to like be out of the washing machine, and being up in the Blazers train seemed to be one of the best places for that for me. I like hanging on to Monk's wheel. He's got pretty smooth lines most of the time, and can maybe defend for them a little bit, so they'll let me leech on to that. But continuing with the race, we've got like 45 minutes to go. Monk giving old Caesar a little pat on the back, and my boy Nico here sending an attack at a little lull during the race, hoping to get across to that pack, that breakaway, which I think at this point had like 35 seconds, so we were up against it. After I saw nothing was really going to bridge across to that, just doing my best to hang in here, hoping that maybe the pace lifts enough or reduces enough in the breakaway for us to pull it back, get in bridging distance, but that was the last plan I had left. Eventually, some more trains. Got Rainstorm, who had Alfredo in the break. They brought their train up. I think they were sitting at the back for like a long time after this part, waiting for their other dudes to lap up, waiting for Alfredo to lap up and for them to bring him through the front. We didn't get a lot of info from announcers here, so didn't really know where the break was for a lot of it. 30 seconds is out of sight on this course, and we couldn't tell if they were getting closer to lapping up or doing nothing, like if they were sitting up. What the gap was most of the time was not getting that from the announcers, so just kind of waiting and hoping to see the break again, and yeah, we weren't really seeing it. So 19 minutes to go here, and it's getting a little more chaotic. The Austin Outlaws brought their train up to the front of like 3 or 4 guys, Gregory Vanderpool there, and then just a bunch of randos like me trying to keep in good position out of the fray, but we're really in the wash machine now, so just kind of trying to save as much energy as possible. Those crosswalk lights were a little dizzying, like on the darkest part of the course there, so had to be pretty cautious to keep the eyesight through that first corner. Blazers on the front now. I'm not sure if that's Granigan or not, but could have been Spencer Movinzada, who Movinzada here on the right did a little checkup in front of Monk, next to that DCC guy, but we were all good. Continued racing. I was happy to be in like this front 15-20 wheel position. Not a ton of other trains, but Estevez there kind of bullying me out of the Blazers train, which, I mean, Legion and Blazers almost the same like scheme, so I'll let them have it. And Danny sent it to the front anyway, so was cool with him doing that. A little scary in the moment, but ended up all right. 15 minutes to go. Trying not to get shuffled back unsuccessfully because I'm getting shuffled back. And Work Hard Be Humble there's got their crew. It was a like pretty easy race as long as you weren't like trying real hard to be at the front or move to the front. I feel like tail gunning on this race would have been really good. Blazers there picking the pace up, trying to get some pace back into it, maybe win the field sprint for like, I think at this point it was like 10th or something like that, but 2 minutes to go here. This is when it starts getting real crazy. Rainstorm Racing's got their train on the front for these last 2 laps, and we enter this backstretch. It's a little dark. Everybody's pretty cracked. I'm deciding I don't really want to sprint. This smaller dude in the orange comes past me, upsets me a little bit, and all of a sudden there's a pileup. I really thought like nothing was going to happen. That guy seemed to like decide he wanted to crash tonight, and so flicked his bike in front of me, and I just landed on my feet pretty good. We can watch it again. Yeah, this guy on the right, just like maybe didn't even see that other dude, but was not slowing down, I think, in a way he would imagined he would have crashed, and all of a sudden there was a bike in front of me, and I couldn't slow down for it. Got back on my bike, got my chain back on, and saw this break here. This is a break. Looks like Michael Garrison, got a few other dudes, Alfredo in there, maybe even one more Rainstorm dude, so lots of dudes in the break. Carpenter in the break there. Ended up being a pretty gnarly sprint. I'll put the results down in the description so you can see who won out of that breakaway. But I kept rolling through. I don't know what I was thinking here. I kind of thought that everybody was done after that. Maybe thought we were on our last lap, but I kept rolling through, and then all of a sudden I realized, like, the field is sprinting behind me, and there's really no way to exit this course at this point, and I don't want to be not moving, so I just kept rolling through and got a, like, first-hand view of this last crash on the straight. Bunches of dudes toppling over. Looks like a little overlap of wheels while sprinting, and that's a pretty fast crash. ButcherBox guy slowed down. Ooh, yeah, I think ButcherBox slowed down almost in time. Just a little topple over, and then needle my way through for, I think I did another lap after this just to see if they'd place me. But wild race. Spartanburg did not disappoint as far as being entertaining and fast. Huge party after, but it was fun. Thanks for watching. See ya.